Welcome to another episode of What's the Word podcast. Your boy Dykeman Drew flying solo tonight. No Bob Bayless. I got a special guest checking in a few minutes. Joe Cruz, CEO, co-CEO of Hoops in the Sun basketball tournament run out of Orchard Beach in the Bronx, New York. He just logged on. Let's get to him.
Yo.
Yo, Mr. Cruz.
Oh man, this is what's the word? Oh my God. I
You
made it.
already.
I made it.
What's good? What's
What's
good?
up?
Nah,
What's
I'm
up?
good. I came up. I got a CEO on here.
Oh man, I am blessed to be with you today, my brother. We've been at this a long time.
Facts.
Been a long time. So
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
Congratulations
you.
on your platform.
Thank you.
You are saving lives. You are saving our history. You are saving street basketball at its finest, integrity and all that you do. So I want to shout out Bobby and all you guys that you got going on.
You already,
And
man.
shout
I
out to,
appreciate you.
no doubt, man. How you been? How's the family?
I can't complain, man. I cannot complain. I just had a baby. He'll be 1 this month.
Congratulations, baby. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's great
handling
news.
that, man. Handling that. But before we get into it, I want to tell you one thing, man.
Sure.
Salute to you, your brother, and rest in peace, your pops.
Thank you, brother.
Because when I was a little kid, my uncles used to take me to Orchard Beach. And that basketball is legendary out there, yo. Like, but nobody ever did anything with that venue. And you think about tournaments on the beach, you only think about West Coast.
For sure.
And y'all did something totally different, man. And salute to y'all for what
Appreciate
y'all done, because y'all changed basketball in New York City as well, bro.
Well, thank you for that. You put me on the spot. I had to salute my pops. My dad had the
Absolutely.
idea, man, and I miss him every day. He's my legend. He's my idol. He's my mentor. And to this day, I asked him if we're doing a good job, and I know I am. I know my
Yep.
brother and I are, but I just wanted him to see what he left behind, and it was sad how he left. But I think he left us a gold mine, and we ran with it. I mean, you know me. I'm in my 40s, bro. So I'm a young cat, considerably,
Yeah.
with all the OGs that does summer tournaments. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
wanna salute them guys like Dykeman and Gersh and Mousy and Tri-State and Bernard and Pro City,
Yep.
Leaf and Watson. I mean, West Fourth, Kenny Graham, those guys, and God rest his soul, Greg Marius with Rucker Park,
Peace. Yeah.
and those guys are the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I'm a Puerto Rican cat from the Upper East Side, trying to figure out how to get in this lane of basketball. You know what I mean? And especially in the golden era, right, Drew? Like you was there live, man. You was there live, and you seen the golden era was. I mean, I just had Shamgard on my podcast last night.
I watched,
and it was just so hearing it again,
Yep.
reliving it again.
Yeah.
It's like I want to go back. It's a drug. I've never seen basketball. Like, I'm gonna give you a shout out to. I'm gonna give a shout out to you, and I'm gonna give you some names that I've always respected uptown. I'm gonna start with Baca Chow, my guy, Louis Flores, Edgar Sosa, Bobby Santiago, Who Shot Jr., Francisco Garcia. I mean,
that's Mikey of them, though. That's Mikey. That's Dominican Power. I'm Team Dynasty.
But what I'm saying to you, no, I'm saying that uptown basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
At its finest, and you was in the midst of that. No matter if he was coaching against him or not, you always
100%.
made sure our culture,
Yep.
Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, always got an avenue to play basketball. And I think that was my dad's dream. Is as much as we love basketball, we wanted to change the demographic respectfully, because we could play, and a lot of cats that uptown played, a lot of cats that played in the Bronx that can play. So my dad was a Latino from the Bronx and Millbrook houses, man, and he grew up in the time where he, in the 60s, and he was a Vietnam vet, and he changed his life when I was born. He came back from Vietnam and changed his life. He met his wife, Lydia Cruz, my mom, and he had me, and all that stuff that he had behind was left behind, and he started his life. He became a national sales trainer for Jennifer Convertibles, and then he got into basketball. He was close with Earl, the GOAT man and GOAT, when it used to be Benjamin Franklin, which is now Manhattan Center.
Yep.
And in his first life, you know, he was fouling GOAT and doing those things that wasn't supposed to happen. And then his second life, he came back and saw GOAT, and he ran into him, and that was when GOAT Park was GOAT Park at the time. And
yes, sir.
My dad was riding with him, and my dad picked up all the tricks of the trade, saw that, you know, he can do something, but still wasn't really knowing what he can do. Then he linked up with Nike Pro City, Ray Diaz at the time, and he learned all those tricks of the trade. And one time he went to Venice Beach. I ain't gonna lie to you. He went to LA. He flew out for a business trip for his company, and then he said, "Listen, I'm gonna be out there for a few days. I'll hit you up." And then he hit me up, and at that time he was like, "Yo, I'm in Venice Beach, man. This is beautiful." And then I'm like, "Okay." Like, and again, I'm still playing ball. I'm still in school, so I'm not really thinking about nothing else. And he was like, "I think I'm gonna do a tournament." And I said, "What? You're gonna do what?" And this is the golden era, right? This is like you're trying to get in a space where everybody's like in their lane, you know, Rucker, Dykeman, and UDC, like people are already Gun Hill, they're situated, right? So I was like, Jad, I don't know what you're going, I don't know how we're going to do that. And he was like, trust me, I have an idea. He came back. Orchard Beach was always his favorite hangout spot. And at that time in 1999 and 2000, the courts were doing a lot of renovations that kind of mirrored Venice.
Okay.
So he walked the, you know, at the time, the promenade, he walked the Boardwalk, and he was like, Joe, I think I'm going to do a basketball tournament here. Right. And I said, Orchard Beach, like nobody knows Orchard Beach. He said, that's why. That's why. I'm going to bring my Latinos. I'm going to bring all my peoples up here, and then we're going to change the narrative. And I said, okay. And then I'm over here thinking he's bugged out. I think he's bugged out. Like, I mean, me and my brother's like, yo, I don't know what's going on. And he made connections, and my dad had a good, you know, a good gift of gab. And he loved basketball, man. He had Earl the GOAT and Ray Diaz in his corner. He worked for Nike Pro City for 4 or 5 years, and he was in the cut, and he made those relationships. He made the teams, he met the players, and he was like, listen, I'm going to do something at Orchard Beach. And then long and behold, 1999, 2000, we started with an eight-team men tournament and a girls tournament. And I mean, I seen cats like Steve Sawaka, Will Cadiz, the Maniac. I mean, all these the first term.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it was amazing. And we did it. And we started with steel backboards and the triple rims. And then now 21 years later, Orchard Beach is one of the prime spots in New York City and probably across the world.
Yeah, that's a whole fact. I want to do something different because I know everybody's expecting the history of Hoops in the Sun, as am I. But Joe Cruz, the basketball player, Joe Cruz, the student athlete, that's what I want to talk about. When did you start hooping?
I started hooping like around 10, 11, probably 12. I never had a growth spurt in my life, so I was always a shooter. I always had that opportunity for any opening. I would take advantage of it. I was blessed to be around a lot of the OGs in terms of watching the game. And then I think, I don't want to bring this up, but I remember when my dad was at the hospital, and he had told me when he was, you know, about to pass on, he was like, listen, I left something behind for you. I just wanted to see you play. I just want to see you play amongst these guys. Because as much as I know, you know, you're 5'7" and a half on a good day, you know, you didn't get your opportunity. And I wasn't the kind of cat that would get a call like, yo, I got a game in Dykeman, I got a game in Rucker, come meet me. But I'll always be there watching the game. And I mean, my game compared to those guys were night and day, but I learned how to really fit in my role. And I just learned from those guys, man. I mean, I played alongside like Danny Basil, Joni Sanders, Sessa from TMP at one time. I played against Ali Mo. I mean, I was put in this situation because my dad wanted me to be respected, not only as his son, but as a ball player. And he made sure I went to school. He made sure I was into my books. I played so what happened was in the beginning of my career, I was 13 years old. I'm an Upper East Side cat. I went to LaSalle Academy. I went to school with Shamgard and Ron Artest and Eddie Leesma. And that was pretty much the introduction to my basketball career. where I thought I was like the best cat on the Upper East Side, and when I went to LaSalle, I was like, this is totally different basketball. So I was a gym rat. I was a ball boy. I was rebounding. I just kind of picked up Sham and against Kareem Reed and Felipe, and it was like, this is a whole new world. And then I wasn't as good as I wanted to be. I played freshman. I played varsity B respectfully, and then I went to further my career. I went to college. I went to Iona first. I thought I could do a walk-on, but at the time, Jeff Rulin was the coach there from Philadelphia 76ers.
Yes, sir.
And he already had his crew, Tariq Kirkskay, all these guys were just like, phenomenal. Yeah. So I went to TCI. I did the JUCO route. I was actually playing at the GOAT tournament. My dad had put some teams in there, and I played. And a cat named Steve White from TCI came up to me. And he was like, yo, man, you could play, man. I'm a head coach at TCI. I'm like, where's TCI? You know what I'm saying? Like, I never heard of that. And he was like, it's a technical school on 31st between 8th and 9th. And I'm the head coach there. So at the time, I'm like, listen, if I'm going to pursue this college dream of playing basketball, let me try it. So I bring Kev Bridges with me, the ninja, Kev Bridges. Yes, and him and I just played 2 years there. I led the JUCO division in 3-point percentage and assists. And that was my role. I was a facilitator. I was a point guard. They called me the general. Yeah. So I was starting to get a little extra thirst for the game. And then I pursued my career by going to Lehman College and did my 2 years there. And then I played, at Lehman and did my thing. And then I had a little stint in Puerto Rico. I was trying to make the junior national team. But right before then or after that, I tore my ACL. Okay. And then when I came back from that experience, my dad used to coach travel to see me in PR. And then I wasn't ever the same after the injury. Gotcha. And then he was like, listen, let's do this tournament. So lo and behold, I want to make sure everybody knows basketball opens up so many different doors and opportunities for you. That you have to be ready for it. So at the time, I wasn't ready for Hoops in the Sun to be what is it now. So I still was in that playing mode. I felt like I could still play, I could still shoot, I could still do my thing. You know how that is. And And I respectfully, tried it. And then I fell in love with the business of Hoops in the Sun and the amount of people that came out there. Like urban legends. Like, I'm seeing Big Strick, and I'm seeing Mike Campbell, and I'm seeing Smush Parker. I'm like, wow. And then they're coming just on the strength of just good people, my dad, our reputation, and as you mentioned earlier, the venue. And then I stopped playing after like 2-3 years. After that, I was 23, and then I started running the business with my brother Randy Cruz and my dad. And then and that was in 2000. So 2000 was a rough year. 2001 we land Adidas, we land Mountain Dew. We get some sponsors in place, and then we get T-Mac to the park.
I remember that.
And I'm playing. And at the time, my dad had a house team, so it was called Pots 5 or Starting 5.
Yeah,
right?
Yep.
Right?
I'm gonna say that Pots 5, yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you, my dad was a hustler. My dad said, "Yo, try to get this cat." So I had OB1, OB2, Ray Rivera, Kev Bridges.
Great. Yes, sir.
I'm like. It was just phenomenal. I'm playing with these guys. It's the house team. And my dad said, I'm going to create a house team because nobody's going to call you. You got your own team.
Yeah.
And they're going to play with you. And I said, all right. So Danny Bakersville, Kenny Sack come. I'm like, man, I'm in like throwing alley-oops. I mean, my job was so easy, and I had a great time. And then 2003, Tracy McGrady pulls to the park through a relationship we had with Adidas and Mountain Dew. And that day was probably the best day of my life. And I really seen a tournament turn from a tournament to an event.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So think about this, Drew. Like I'm playing the game. My brother and my pops is getting T-Mac from the beach in a limousine. They pull up in a black stretch limousine. And we tell everybody, don't go nowhere. We got a special. Yes. So I'm like, I'm in the game playing. I'm in the game actually playing while he's pulling up. So he pulls up. 6'7" out the limo, like oh shit, like I'm like holy shit, and then like the whole beach just gets on fire. I'm like, this is real. And then he pulls up, he sees his pops, he's in the tent, he sees feet to the fan, he shoots around, the game stops. Photo ops, it was just a great moment. And I just want to shout out Adidas and Mountain Dew for that, and Tracy McGrady. It just changed our tournament perception, because we were trying to sell the beach, we were trying to sell the heat, and we're trying to sell the distance, right? And the parking lot. So it was a lot of things that were against us, and T-Mac put us over the top with that. And after that, year after that, my dad passed, and then the keys were left to me and my brother, and we've been driving it ever since.
Got you. So my question to you, bro, has always been that, like, it's like you said, the distance, right? The parking,
Yep.
the no shade, the NBA length games, because you got a game of hoops in the sun. That's 2 hours. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, everything that you can say would be a con didn't matter, bro, because the basketball was pure out there. And every year, y'all got better. Every year, y'all improved. Like, but we only see the end product. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, at the time, you're learning this game from that end, and you're very young. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to take away a lot of social life, a lot of chilling, a lot of what you would have been doing normally for a young kid to try to build this brand.
Yeah.
That you and your pop started. You know, you, your pops, and your brother. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So what was that grind like? You know what I mean? Trying to get the teams and because once the word of mouth spreads, people will check it out, but it doesn't mean it's going to be consistent. Like, y'all was consistent, and y'all would get hoopers out there. You know what I mean? No matter what, and no matter how much people complained, I was with a bunch of the players my damn self. Like, yo, I gotta go to the beach, son. I'm like, yo, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
You know what I mean? Like, where was that grind like building that up?
I think the grind began when my dad and I said we have to make this a spot where it's an all day thing. Okay. If you're gonna come here at 1 o'clock, you're gonna burn. Yeah. Let's make the environment worth its while for people to stay, because we don't have a traditional fan base. Yeah, the fan base is built on the beach and the people who are on the sand and people who's walking just to kind of get a walk. Yeah. So for us, it was about announcing. It was about having the aesthetics, that image, that mirror an NBA kind of facility.
Facts.
My dad was always said, if I'm gonna drag people out of here to take an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours to stay with me, I'm going to make sure the experience is worth its while. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, I'm going to give them an NBA game because they have to get ready to go overseas and then play in the pros. And every other tournament, respectfully, don't do it that way because of the length of time. But I talk to players, I've talked to coaches to this day. I said, why do you, and I'll be with you on your show. I'm thinking about changing the time to go less. And I'm getting people saying no. And I'm like, why are you saying no? It's too hot. You said it's too hot. It's too long. He said it's too long, but it gives teams the opportunity to come back in the game, like a real game.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you bring in Adris and Edgar Sosa, you want them to work on their skill sets in a professional NBA environment with shot clocks, with running, with stop clock, because you got to start helping the player advance their game on the next level. And we weren't going to be that site that would cut the game. That would I never want to change the integrity of the game.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So my dad said, I'm not changing the integrity of the game. We're going to be the outdoor Nike Pro City. Dope. I said, Nike outdoor? He said, yeah, I want to be the outdoor Nike Pro City. You get the treatment, you get the ankles wrapped, you get the tents, you get the water. We're gonna lace them up. We get the college chairs. I'm like, so he had really a vision of taking his business and what he was doing in his business life.
Yep.
To manifest it into a sports program that was not only a tournament, but it became an event. So, like, you would come up with your family, your girl, your kids. It's an event, and people started saying, "Damn, I'd rather go to the beach and get some rec. I get good rec. I can chill, eat, get a little tan, peep the girls on the beach, and bring my kids here and feel safe, or bring my family here and be safe." And no knock on anybody else. I'm not saying that's not the case, but that was our spiel heading into that. The grind was real because we had to reinvent ourselves, knowing that we had powerhouses like Dykeman and Rucker and Westforth, that was Kingdom, and we had to stay relevant. So our thing was go to these tournaments, meet people, network. Like yourself, I met you through that.
Yeah.
So you met network, you come across humble, you come across good people, you act like that. You treat the tournament as a business. It wasn't just some shit you put a banner up and then give my cash and referee and I'm out for the next 6 hours. Yeah. I was always reinvesting. So my dad always said, you got to look the part, be the part. And I want this to be a top flight tournament in New York City so people can come here and exuberate their talent at the highest level. And with the extreme heat and with the NBA court, it makes you, it will build you to what the player you want to be. Like one of my announcers says, if you play at the beach, you can play anywhere. It's the Mount Everest of street basketball. It's the hardest place to win. And I play there. So people don't remember, you remember, but people don't remember I played there. It is the hardest place to play. If you have a game after the beach, you're going to be finished.
Yeah, you hit. You hit.
You hit. And like people like Kenny Satterfield said, if I got a game at the beach, I'm not playing nowhere. That's my rec for the day because I'm going to get 2 hours of cardio work and I'm playing against talent on a different level. And my dad said, we're not going to do man-to-man. We're going to play zone. We're going to play any NBA rules that we adjust to because we want to make sure we mirror the NBA. And our goal was to be more mainstream, to have the outlet to the NBA, outlet to NCAA, and to high school. And the only way to do that was to put that blueprint down.
Got you. So now you up and running, right? And when do you realize, you know what, we're here now. Like we are an entity. We are a part of this culture. Like Hoops in the Sun has arrived.
That's a great question. I'll tell you a quick story before I answer that question. In 2004, my dad passed.
Yeah.
My brother came. That was August 16th, 2004. And it was funny. My team, past 5 starting 5, was in the championship game against TMP.
Okay. And
Sessa was on that damn team. And I never forget Sessa because he fucking took a championship from me and these guys. But it was Shy Mac, S Class, J High.
J High, yeah.
You know TMP. Come on, you know that, right? So we're playing against them and we have an epic game. And then I was still in player mode.
Got you.
That September, my brother comes to me and says, yo, what we gonna do? And I said, and for me, I doubted myself, Drew, because I felt I was in my dad's shadow a lot. And I didn't think people would respect me on that level because I just came from playing on the court. And here I am a year later telling you to be on time and where's your fees and where's your ref fee? I'm gonna forfeit you. Like, I'm just on that side. And it was hard for me to kind of understand that. And my brother, who is my backbone and who is my ride and die partner, anybody don't know my brother, man, he is what you see online. And this is before social media.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying, Drew? So we can talk about that later. Like, I'm talking about Dykeman. Your dynasty team, that was online?
Yeah.
So we he told me, he said, yo, I want to do this, but I can't do it without you. And I said, but I don't even know these sponsors are going to come back to me. I don't know if these players are going to respect me, these teams. And he was like, nah, you can do this because you Joe Cruz. And I'm like, I'm Joe Cruz Jr. He said, no, you Joe Cruz. You could do this.
Yeah.
So I start reaching out to sponsors and they love my pops. I make that call, Drew, to Adidas, Mountain Dew, everybody I had the year before when I thought they'd been like, your dad's gone. Respectfully, I got to go.
Yeah.
They was like, nah, man, we're going to do this 3 more years with you. I said, that's when I knew it was real because the level of respect we had in only 4 years at that time was incredible. And we had a lot of support from that level. And then when I realized, I think it was 2006, I realized Hoops was on it because we got an opportunity to work with Nike. And then at that year, remember Drew, they had the tournament champions.
Yes, sir.
They had at Go Park.
Yes, sir.
And then I remember that Kenny Satt was the Nike Player of the Year twice because of his damage at the beach.
Yeah.
And his nickname was Sirius Satellite.
And
then I knew guys like that can propel our tournament. So guys like that help me, help the tournament become who it is. So I never forget that. So I always thank Satterfield and all the forefathers that came for me, because those guys put in the map. So when we came on that Bounce magazine cover, I knew it was real. I said, oh shit, this is real. And that's when Bobito and Sean Couch and these guys were doing a lot of street ball stuff.
Yeah.
And we got, Daily News, the back covers, and it was like it was like a little fraternity.
Yeah,
said, this is real, and it also gave another opportunity to see other tournaments do well. And then we're in that same conversation.
Yeah.
So I remember somebody said, I forgot a player, I forgot Drew who it was, but somebody said, I walked by and somebody said, yeah, man, this tournament's fire, bro. It's like at least top 5 in the city. I'm like, whoa. And then that's when I knew it was real. And then ever since then, I've been trying to stay relevant in those conversations and, continue to grind it out and reinvent the tournament. And, after that, after my dad passed, I decided to put more teams. I got some more youth teams. I did some girls.
Yeah.
And then I went from 8 teams and now I'm managing 60 teams.
Oof.
On the weekend, 10 to 6. I don't have lights. I got to be out the beach by 7.
Oh, that's a fact. Y'all don't have lights.
I have it, but they won't let me past 7 because there's no bus and the parking lot closes. So everybody asking me to do night games. I've been trying for 21 years. Hopefully it will happen, but
that would be it.
That would be it. That would be. I will kill everybody. I will kill it. I will destroy it. And I know that. But and it was a struggle because Parks didn't give us the opportunity to really allow our people up there a lot. So when I knew like cats like you and Mikey and all these coaches, Tony Rosa, all these guys come up there to the beach, it's like, yeah, we infiltrating this whole stuff right now. We're doing it. So we at 06, I would say we knew it was on the map, and after that it was just maintain it and keep it steady and elevate.
Let me tell you something, boy.
Yes, sir.
That indoor rain site has produced some games. But that one weekend when Sat scored like 7,000 points, when him and Barrett had like 70 each, the way like when I walked in that gym, I'm like, okay, this is different because they got the same amount of people in the beach going up to this gym, and they was going at it. And it's like not everybody had rain sites. You did that, as you know, for your program, and that's tough because not everybody wants to let people in their facilities when you telling them you running street ball or something that has to do with street ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it seems like with you guys, y'all got like the BRONX is hoops in the sun. Like I did an episode on my podcast the other day, and I was dogging the water at Orchard Beach, right? I said the only thing good about Orchard Beach is hoops in the sun. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like you guys, to me, you guys gave us a reason to even consider going out there, yo.
Right.
Because I wasn't going to the sand. I wasn't going to that Yoo-hoo, because I don't even call it water. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going in the Yoo-hoo. I knew I wasn't going to get no shade. I knew I was going to be hot, but I knew it was going to be it was going to be a show over there,
Yeah.
And how hard was it for you guys to get the teams initially? Because I know once you guys are up and rolling, it's like you got to tell people, let me see what I could do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How hard was it to get the teams in the beginning? Like you said, you started with 8 teams.
It was very hard. It was very hard because understand you're trying to have grown men come play a 1 o'clock game after partying, having a game at Dykeman, respectfully, as an example, and then party all night.
Yeah.
And it's hard. So for me, I had to mix my teams in terms of ones that I knew I can consistently bank on, and then try to stab at the ones that you really, really want, right? I've been trying to get Mikey for years, right? To get there. I've it took a while to get, Sean Bell All-Stars. It took a while to get these teams up there because of the commitment that it takes. And I'm the kind of guy, I'm the coolest cat in the world, but when it comes to my business, you just don't mess that up for me.
No, not at all.
Because I have fans here that pay $8 to go park, and they're gonna sit here and wait and burn just for you to come in when you want to come. And I told them, I said, this is a business, right? This is what I do. This is who I am now. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna put you on the best platform in New York City with the landscape of Orchard Beach, the environment, the aura of Orchard Beach. you got to come in and perform. So for me, it just took one or two players. Marcus Williams, Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the Nets at the time, Andre Barrett.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Kenny Satterfield, and these guys came consistently to the park. You know, Steve Burt, Keegan Clark, Mike Glover, Ant Glover. So I decided to say, listen, I need to take a chance on these teams that are hard to get, that are committed to other tournaments, to give them an opportunity. Okay. So that was the continuous grind. And after like 2-3 years of doing that, teams were hitting me up like, I need to play in this. Because at the time I was giving out book bags, jackets, airline tickets, rings. I had one of the best packages in New York City. You know, and again, I learned from my forefathers, so I'm not gonna sit here and stunt. But I understand the blueprint. Yep. So, you know, grown men want to play for certain things, and I feel like who else the better to do a tournament on the beach and give out JetBlue tickets for free.
Yeah.
And I always sold the package. Okay, I know it's hot, I know it's fall, $8, but I guarantee you, your $1,000 you're paying, you're gonna walk away with $5-10 grand at least on packages.
Yeah.
And I made my promise, and that was a sponsor. That was my sponsorship appeal to them, was to, in order for us to be the best, you got to treat the players and the teams as the best, because they always will be indebted to me. And after a while, it just became every team was like a top-notch team. And then it was like, at that time, it was hard to manage that because there was so many different personalities and challenges with that. And you know how sheepball is, man. They'll rip your heart just to get a win.
That's a fact.
They'll rip me. They don't know who Joe Cruz is when the game is on. Yo, ref, what the fuck? Yo, Joe Cruz done it. I'm like, I don't ref. But they always try to find a way to advantage. And I think that me being consistent, the way I do business, the way I try to be fair, allow them to say like, damn, here goes a young cat, Spanish cat trying to do good. And he's a good cat and he's a lineage to his pops. And I want to play here. So I think it became word of mouth, getting a couple teams, a couple of stars to come there, really be consistent. And then it just became the floodgates. And then when I did the Spring League was just an extension to the tournament. So
you did that though, bro. You did something different with that too.
I did. You know what? My staff always tells me, yo, I miss Baychester, man.
Yeah, Baychester was it. I ain't even gonna hold you, son.
They used to call
and Bob like, yo, when we out, let me know.
Yeah, they called it the BRONX Madison Square Garden.
That's a fact. It was different. Baychester was different.
Yeah, so I want to shout out Miss Russell, shout out my man Elliot Rosado, who is the father of Malachi, who go to St. Raymond. They're the ones that kind of opened the doors for me.
Got you.
To, you know, bring this talent. And I was so blessed to see cats that were overseas that will come there for the weekend just to play, because what I was doing was, okay, you want to play in my tournament? I don't got spots in the summertime. You bring your team in the springtime. You beat my summer teams, you get a spot. And I give you either free or half off. Right? That was one, right? And then two, I was giving out the same package in the Spring League for less money.
Damn.
Because I'm giving out t-shirts, stuff like that. So for me, it was just like, how do I balance this out to do that? And also it became, you know, some cats would stay home in the springtime. They would have no job overseas. Yeah. So I said, how do I get that to get them ready for not summertime, but get them earlier to do their workout from summer and into September to get a job. And they would run to the Baychester, and that shit became a Madison Square Garden for me, man. It was deep. I would tell you on your show, it was the best time of my life. Okay. The Spring League changed hoops in the sun because it became not only a 2-month program, it became a 4-month program.
Exactly.
And then you gave the same quality, the same refs, the same basketball. It was an AC conditioning gym. Yeah. It was, the lights were like booming, and there was bleachers, and it was just like at night. I would leave there sometime at midnight, these games, and right back at it, you know, the next day. And it was just like, and then I added the announcing and the DJ, and those things you add to a tournament makes you feel comfortable. And then I had so many people playing that shit, man. It was
that's a fact. You brought them out.
amazing,
They
bro.
came out to Baychester, bro.
I be like, you still home? You here? What you doing in the Bronx? He's like, y'all need to get some rec, Joe. You know me. I'm in this spring league is lit. I'm like, it was a time of my life, man. It was a time of my life, and I remember one game that stood out for me, Drew, was R2K versus Bingo All Stars.
I was gonna ask you that. Go ahead.
You know, and it was young Dwight Hardy, it was Justin Burrell, it was Paris Thorne, it was Geddes, Ra Jenkins, Nick. I mean, I forget all, but it was just a matchup for the Bronx.
Yep.
And you know how Bingo rolls.
Yeah.
And it was just like I advertised it like, yo, these are the two best teams in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
In the springtime, just going to duke it out. And I remember that was the last game. Like it was a 9:30 game. I walked into from the bathroom, and you know how you walk in the glass doors and you see the whole gym.
Yep.
I walked a little bit through the middle. I looked to my left. I looked to my right. Bro, the bleachers and the standing room only.
Yeah, you couldn't see nothing.
Ridiculous. I said, what the fuck is going on here? And then the side where the padding is at, I'm like, even the doors outside was open. I'm like,
yeah,
the whole Bronx was there. And I felt like everybody from Brooklyn, Queens, Heights, everybody knew Friday and Saturday and Sunday was a spring league, and they all came there. And at that time, I was strategic. Nobody was doing spring leagues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you did it when nobody was doing it. That's what I'm saying. And then the place was good money. It's not like it was like a half-ass place. Everything was legit. You was good. Even parking was easy out there.
Parking was easy. The energy was easy. There was food there. That gym made so much bread. Yeah. And I didn't ask for $1. I said, you know what? They let me rock. I'm gonna take care of them. And that's really who I am.
That's real.
I do business right way. And I mean, unfortunately, Baychester had to shut down for whatever reason they were. But that was a good run. That was about a good 6 to 8 year run I had. It was fantastic. It was fantastic, man. And I had commissioners come and see new teams. It felt like an open combine. I mean, I see everybody, Greg, Kenny, all these guys, and all these guys supported me. I'm like, yo, this is dope. And just to see talent playing, you see Kiki on one side, Steve Bird on one side, you see T2 on one side. I'm like, this is the fucking spring league or the summer league?
Yeah, that was crazy. And it was, get crazy in there. It
was amazing. Idris, I mean, it was like I said, it was the golden era, man. It was at its prime. In the early 90s and 2000 was the best basketball of my life for that.
Question, my dude. Now, you guys took a more serious approach. You know what I mean? Like your pops wanted that NBA setting and all that, right? Even down to the announcer.
Go ahead.
Like that was something so different. And y'all did that.
Yep.
What made you go that way? Because that took a lot to do that. Because it's street ball, but this ain't street right here. This is professional basketball. No matter how you switch up the names or use the term.
Yeah.
He was like that. He was like an MSG dude.
Yeah, and you know what? His name is Bobby C.
There you go.
And I remember Bobby C used to be the announcer for Lehman College games.
Okay.
So when I played, he would announce the games, and then my father used to go to games. And he was like, who is that? His voice never changed. His voice was consistent, eloquent, on point, like highs and lows, history. And I said, yo, you a white boy. Like, you know a lot of shit for a white boy, right? Yeah. And then my dad went up to him, and he was like, you want to do outdoor basketball? And at the time, Bobby was, a young kid that was trying to really get his name out there and be on those platforms, like you said, like, MSG and TNT. And lo and behold, we 0-1, we snatched them. And my dad told me one time, he said, yo, I think we got the Marv Albert of the streets.
That's a fact.
So I said, I think you do. And like, from downtown, 3-point goal. I'm like, this is like not street ball, but this is like street ball players feeling that they're in an NBA setting. And that was the difference between what we advertised, what we did, because that guy made everybody feel comfortable. He was a white boy that stood out respectfully, but he always knew his history, he knew his lineage, he respected the players, and he made them feel like superstars, even when they weren't really doing too good. Okay. And yeah, him and my man G Stacks are the voices of Hoops in the Sun, and we call him his nickname is The Voice. And then so what happened was we decided to do this white and black thing. We wanted to do like Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson.
Okay.
So Bobby C fit that role. For many years, he did it by himself, and he was getting a lot of gigs from the tournament and opportunities, and we needed somebody else, and we brought in Uncle G Stacks, which was our color analyst, who really worked well with Bob, and him and Bob do a great job, and those guys are synonymous with Hoops in the Sun. When you say Hoops in the Sun, you got to say those guys.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a whole fact.
Yep.
Let me ask you something. When did this Hall of Fame, the Hoops in the Sun Hall of Fame, start? And what's the criteria that these ball players need to get into that Hall of Fame?
Man,
how does that work?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I get so much heat from this Hall of Fame, man.
You know what? Listen, hold on. First of all,
go ahead.
You're never gonna be right, bro. All the time. You're always gonna forget somebody. Somebody's always gonna feel a certain way because Dykeman put out a top 25 list, and it's like, oh, how can they only put up 25? I say, yo, relax. It was the 25th anniversary. It was the 25th year anniversary. You gotta have like, I don't think you can number them, but what you did is a whole Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So that's something different. So these ball players are sensitive at times. So how does that work for you, being the commissioner, having to explain yourself to these dudes?
It's about the commitment and the work you put into the tournament. That's just what it is. If you have one good year, I don't see it for 3 more years, you're not going to be Hall of Fame ballot.
Gotcha.
So for me, it's like the criteria is, did you dominate in the era or the year that you played or the years you played? Was you a player that was just a role player, or was you a significant piece to a dynasty? And it went by longevity, it went by commitment, it went about stats, it went about who you played in the era you played in. And can I take Jared Johnson in this era and still kill? Probably so. Because Jared Johnson is a transcendent player. So
absolutely,
if I put somebody else in the era they played and put him in this era, can they dominate? I don't know. That doesn't make you Hall of Fame to me. So I'll tell you, like, Kenny Satterfield's in our Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's probably one of the most, him and Mike Glover are probably the most decorated ball players of Hoops in the Sun history.
Gotcha.
Right? That with chips. I'm going to talk about Mike Glover got chips, 7 chips. He's Robert Horry.
He got 7 in hoops?
Yeah, 7 chips, bro.
Oof.
He got 4 with Bingo. He got 2 with R2K and 1 with Avlife.
Wow.
Yeah. And his brother, 4 chips. You know, I remember these players putting a book bag on to win games, right? So I was there watching that. The new wave, you know, I became so business that I can't watch the games no more. And I feel like I can't watch this all the time. This is not what I'm used to, right?
Yeah.
I'm used to Homicide, A-Butter going at it and talking shit all week. And I'm going to see that at the beach. I'm going to see it at Dame. I'm going to see it on Kingdom. Yeah. You know, it was like a storyline.
Yeah.
There's no storyline.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you say it's too hard to guard, no, I'm too hard to guard. And I'm gonna go at you. That's the energy I want. So comparing this era to that era is just different. But I'm saying in Hall of Fame, I recognize coaches. I recognize people who helped the tournament become where it's at. I recognize my staff who make it, because like you said, if you bitching about coming out there and spend time with me in 7 hours in the heat, imagine my staff who's been with me for 20 years in the heat.
Yeah, facts.
Right. So it's about homage. It's about recognizing the people that got you to where you at. And, you know, I have to recognize my players because I wouldn't be where I'm at. And I didn't have a banner like Diamond, which was a great idea. That shit was fantastic. And I think he got everybody on that list pretty much on point. But you're never going to get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never going to get it right. You're going to
choose 25 great ball players, yeah, but everybody's going to have their pick of the 25 that they felt should be on there.
Right. And then Dykeman's been around 30 plus years. So to get 25 of those players in 30 years, that's a lot. And they play 7 days a week. Right. So for me in the weekend, I gotta really view what kind of pain you put in and how consistent you are with it and how you represent yourself. Right. So I think all those elements, and I think my staff do a great job picking those people out. My brother does a great job. You know, he keeps all the stats, all the books. We got booked from 2000.
Sheesh.
If somebody said no, he in the Hall of Fame. Okay, hold on.
We got the facts.
Right? And this is before online, internet. This is all before that. So we were doing shit handwritten, and we still got that in the vote. So they can't question that. And that's probably the most creative thing I've done with Hall of Fame. Other people have done it. They just can't, they can't do it like that. And, I'm proud of the things that we've done and elevating New York basketball and really putting those people on the pedestal, man, because sometimes they don't get the recognition that they do. So I felt Hall of Fame was a status that I recognize you for what you did for me and what you did for the game.
And you give plaques. You know what I mean? Like, you give plaques, son. It's not like a little tonteria. You know what I
mean? And then this year I would have did something crazy, but I had the little the gold jackets like the NFL.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We were going to do like a Hoops in the Sun gold jacket, like I bring everybody back, like OB and DP and everybody back, and have like a banquet, man. Like check in with these guys, man. Like you know what I mean? Like they all have moved on and got kids, and some of them I don't even know if they're alive, God forbid. But it's like I need 1 year, I need 1 day in the year to recognize Hall of Fame. And the last 2-3 years, we did like a Hall of Fame game. So we would just bring all the Hall of Famers back out and play. And it reminds me of the foundation of the tournament, and those guys are the foundation. So that's why I did the Hall of Fame.
Who was the first inductee? Who was the first player inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Wow, you put me on the spot, bro.
Let's go, Commish.
I gotta do that call a friend real quick. Who's the first Hall of Famer? Wow.
Lifeline.
Okay, I'm gonna use a lifeline, but I'm gonna tell you, give me time to answer that. But I don't know. I'll get it to you. Next question, I'll get it to you. I just text my brother.
What year did it start?
I gotta ask him that too. I would say, damn, you've been 2020. I want to say at least 2010.
Okay.
At least I'm just being, and I'll get you the stat. I think 2008, 2010, around there. I started really, like, it became like 1 or 2, and then I started like 2, 3, 4. Then 1 year be 2, 1 year was 5. So it just depends. But I think that the early 2010s, I started doing that. Oh, hold on, I got it. See, the first one was Krabby.
Yes, sir.
Rashawn Young.
Yes, sir.
Darren Phillip, DP. Will Cadiz.
Yes, get buckets.
Buckets.
Yes, sir.
And God rest his soul, Strickland. John Strickland.
Oh, that's a mean class right there.
Yeah, and I'm asking what year we started. Because I tell you, man, my brother's an almanac. So if you get him on, he'll tell you this, that, how much he had. Like, he loves Hoops in the Sun. I love it, but I love the business part of it now because I can't recreate what kind of history we had. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. And he said 06.
Okay, 06.
Hall of Fame 06.
Yeah, because your all-star games are huge. Your dunk contests were huge. You had to do that. I forgot who it was, jumped over the golf cart.
Michael Peterson
on the beach, huh?
Michael Peterson. That was ESPN.
You know what I
mean? Top 3. Yeah, that was crazy. That
got cemented your legacy in New York City, man, and I'm just happy to see it because when the first time I ever went to Hoops in the Sun, rest in peace, I met your pops because him and Bob's pops used to always be together.
Yes, right. And
Bob's pops is like, he grew up with all my uncles in Douglas and all that. And your pop was just like so cool and you and your brother always been the same way as well. Like y'all always show love, and
No doubt.
I appreciate what y'all do for us. As fans of the game. You dig?
Yeah.
And it's just dope that y'all was able to take something that was really, really tough, bro. Because at the end of the day, every tournament is in the inner city.
Yep.
You're either in a project or in a playground.
A fact.
On a playground in the projects. So it's not hard to get people to even just stop by, even if it's not even great basketball. People will stop by, and it's just easy it's an easy thing to see. But to get to where you guys are and to be able to build, it's tough, man. And y'all did that, and I respect that. And,
Thank you. It's the hardest job that anybody can take on.
I can imagine, bro.
If we would do a crap shoot and switch commissioners, I don't know who want to take this role. I don't.
Fact.
Because
it's tough,
it's so much restriction, so much roadblocks that I wish I can get the food stands. I wish I could do sometime the drinking and the smoking just to make you. I wish I had the element, but what saved me or saved the brand was we couldn't chase street ball. We could chase the street ball players to bring them into a professional environment, and that's what we did. So I think that as much as I was trying to get to that point, somebody told me, you don't change who you are, you just redirect your energy into making this a much higher platform. And I've been doubted, I've been counted out. I had sometimes no apparel sponsor, and I still do without a sponsor.
Got you.
You can't tell me nothing that I have not accomplished.
Yeah.
Respectfully. And I still got more to accomplish. And I think that's the beauty of my age and the way I grew up in this era, because I've seen so much in my life that I can still do this at a high level. And my other tournament directors are my competitor. That's my competitive spirit. Like, they just do a great job, and I want to stay above in that stratosphere with them, because it's hard, man. Orchard Beach is hard. It is hard. Parks Department is not the best. So, they support, but it's like with restrictions and challenges, man, I gotta pay a heavy fee for the permit. I gotta pay a heavy fee for this insurance. I get charged for a lot of shit. I can't do vendorship at the time. I had to be at a certain time. You know what I mean? So for me, I crossed all those boundaries because I wanted basketball to be relevant in Orchard Beach and the Bronx, because we need it. There's not many of us doing it at that level, especially from a Latino background.
Yep.
And shouts to Mousy. We don't have many of that. No. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, being trendsetters at the same time, not just being in it. Make impact. Absolutely. And be a trendsetter. So it was hard, man. It was hard. And I remember the origin of Hoops and the name. We were in the car, and my dad was driving, and I'm with my boy Jared Leak and Randy, and we're having a conversation, and and everybody kept saying, it's hot, it's fall, it's gonna be hoops. And my brother said, hoops in the sun. You're hooping.
Your brother came up with that.
Yeah, my brother came up with that. You're hooping in the sun.
Facts.
I said, oh. and then it became the acronym HITS, which was easier to say. I'm going to hits. And then it just morphed into the beauty that it is. And anybody that want to be a commissioner, anybody that wants to do what I do or what we do, respectfully, it's you got to be committed, man. You got to be in it, and you have to stay with it, and you have to understand there'll be challenges. And I was ready for them. I was ready for them when I thought I wasn't. And every year I look up and say that Hoops in the Sun changed my life. It became cemented in who I am, and it's my alter ego, and I love it.
That's dope. Yeah, because to run a tournament, bro, I've watched. I've never done it. I've watched, and that thing is time consuming. You don't have summers.
No.
You know what I mean? If you run a spring league, you don't have a spring either. So you have to have a really, 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 really strong personality, and your discipline got to be on point, bro, because you're not going to want to get up 7 days a week, and 7 days a week you got to get up to do something for that.
Facts.
And that has nothing to do with the rest of your regular everyday life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I commend you and your brother, And I think y'all done a hell of a job, bro. And y'all
Absolutely.
have had some classic games.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
what I wanted to ask you. What was the individual besides them 1,000 points? I'm talking about out on the beach. What was the most like amazing performance you saw a player put on the beach?
Oh man, I gotta start with Ray Rivera.
X-ray.
I have never seen a player shoot outdoors with so much accuracy.
Fam, he was different. Even when it was windy. I
That's what
seen
I'm
him make
saying. You know, the beach wind
facts.
and the regular wind, and it's hot. Facts. I have never seen him. Danny Basil, and Steve Sawaka.
Yeah.
And I would say Dwight Hardy and Steve Burt probably for me as shooters.
Yeah.
Can shoot that bitch in the wind. Like I have never seen that. Like I've seen people, yo, it's windy today. We got to go to the basket. Don't tell X-ray that was going to go in. Yeah. But I would say his performance outdoors, shooting a basketball. Young Obi Toppin, who his son's going to be in the draft in a couple days. He was as athletic as it be. I had the luxury of playing with him, and we called him Snoop Dogg, and it was just about throwing it up, and it was off we run. Classic performances. I'll probably go with Kenny Sapp back-to-back. He scored like 150 points in one weekend with Andre Barrett in the backcourt. Yeah, that was dope. I seen Dwight Hardy go against young Lance Stevenson when Lance was in Lincoln. Major matchup. That's when Dwight Hardy was coming out, and it was his time. And then that was when Lance was still born ready and getting into his regiment. I love our Pots 5 versus I think it was T914 or Powerful Inc. at the time. It was that was a classic game. We had all the legends. We had Strick, Jesse Sapp, Gary Irvin, Steve Burt. I don't even remember all the names, but it was Aaron Williams. We had Kurt Williams. They had Mike Matthews. They had Jomo Belfort.
Loaded.
Fantastic game. And more in the modern years, I think bingo games were classic. Bingo had a lot of classics. Raw 2K had a lot of classic games. And even now with Sean Bell had classic games until now we have Av Life. So I think the championship games were classic.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pinpoint a regular season game, but I remember vividly at Baychester, Kenny Sapp was going retarded indoors.
Oh God, I was there. We were Saturday and Sunday. I said, "Yo, Mo, what you gonna do today?" He said, "I'm going." He said he set the record, right, and then broke it.
Yep. and then last summer we had a cat named Kadani Brutus that played in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
He finally broke the outdoor record.
Yeah,
he had 68 points and
68.
Yeah, it was just it's beautiful to see when people get in a rhythm like that can do it and do it and on that platform with the extremities that you have to play under. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful that you can see a guy that really do well. Like I even see Russ Smith at St. Mary's score like 70 points. And it was all half court jumpers. I was like, bah, bah, bah. I was like, damn. I see Lance go at it, and I seen Lance put on the show. I seen Isaiah Whitehead put on the show. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've seen Jimmy Fredette pop up at the Beast, like, oh shit, Jimmy Fredette. I seen Joakim Noah. Yeah. I've seen John Lucas. I've seen T-Mac. And then the one thing I want to tell you, Drew, I've seen them for free.
Yeah, let's go.
And the kids and the fans seen them for free. And that's why I do this work. Because these cats cannot afford these games, and they ain't flying to different countries to see these guys play. And I bring them all to one section, one beach every summer to try to give back to them, and then have these guys give back to our fans and why we love basketball because of the artwork that these guys put on every single day.
That's dope. Couple more before I let you off the hook. But what would you say was the most dominant team? Because like me personally, right? I grew up uptown, you know that. I'm a Dykeman kid my whole life. What TMP did in Dykeman, I never saw any team do ever in my life. When they added T2 to TMP, I was like, oh, this just got even crazier. Because they was pressing dudes from the parking lot. Like you in your layup line, and Jay High and Shy already playing defense, and their reign of terror with indictment. That's what it was. It was a reign of terror. They got 4 uptown. Was there ever a team? Did they do that out there in Hoops in the Sun? Were they like that? Like, was there a team out there that you could say, "Yo, I don't see these dudes losing"?
I'll tell you one thing about TMP. They played one year and won it, and never came back.
Got you. Okay.
They just won it. So they ran the table.
Yep.
They did what they gotta do. They took a chip home.
Yep.
And that was it.
Okay.
So that's how, and that was in the same time frame that they were running the city all around.
No, they took everything. They took everything. They took Pro City, they took Dykeman, they took Hoops in the Sun, and I think Watson, and even Tri-State, yo.
Yep. So I would say that is a classic team for me for the duration they were in the tournament. So
if they only did a year, then there was no rain. That's only a year. Yeah.
So for me, I would say Bingo All-Stars is the TMP Hoops in the Sun because they got 4 chips.
4. Bingo got 4 in there. The Godfather.
Bingo got 4. And he might have went 3 for 3, like back to back to back. Like it was Then 1 year Potts 5 beat him, and then after that he won 1 more. And then but you gotta remember, the reason why I say that is not because I'm a Bronx cat. Everybody be like, I show love to the Bronx and Manhattan. I don't want Queens and Brooklyn to win. That's not even the case. Bingo got 4 chips, and he brought Ron Artest, and he brought Kimber Walker and Krabby and Mike Glover and Ant Glover and Steve Burt.
Yeah.
And Kiki Clark and Lee Church. I keep going. Like he invested in that team, and you see what he did up in Dykeman when he had his reign, right? Corey Fisher, young Corey Fisher. So he had it, right? And then he has 4. Sean Bell got 3.
Oh.
Sean Bell got 3.
Yep.
R2K got 2.
Okay.
Potts 5 got 2. And Av Life got 2. So I would say
that's dope. Y'all got 2, man. That's fire.
Yeah, man. So and that was in the early stages, and that was in the early stages that we got that off. Like I think we were the first team that won the tournament in like early 2000, and we got another one like in 2002. Okay. And then after that, and then before that was GCD had Chanel Scott, Smush, Fabito, Ruben Rivera, Amor McCaskill. So those are the good old days. And then we had 914.
Yeah.
They have 3. Okay. So it's Bingo.
914 got 3 up there?
So it's Bingo with 4, DDN, Sean Bell with 3, T914 with 3, R2K with 2, Potts 5 2, and Av Life with 2. So those are probably the best teams I've seen up there.
That's fire.
Yeah. I mean, it was a point where teams are coming to go get Bingo, like trying to clip his ass. And and, you know, my man would sit back like this, like all day. Yo, rap, what's up? After that, it was like, now he want to coach. One of the best dudes ever met. All those coaches are great. Bingo was more in a sense of like a player coach, let them do what they do, and figured out how to win at the beach quickly. Because his thing was, so back in this interview, you had said, how hard was it to get teams?
Yep.
He was probably one of the hardest to get because his thing was like, it's too early, it's too hot, and I got some old guys that are gonna kill themselves out there. Yeah. And he figured out how to remedy of you need Drew. You can't come to Orchard Beach with 6 players.
No.
You can't come with 8 players.
No.
You gotta come with 2 rosters because
you gotta have 4. You gotta be loaded.
Yeah, and he realized that I gotta have 10 players, and each position backed up because of the duration, the heat, and the concrete. Yeah. And he was one of the few ones that kind of laid out that blueprint to win at the beach at the level he had to, because he had some gunners after him. He had Sean Bell, he had 914 in the league, he had Potts 5 in the league, he had some of the team, and he prevailed, and he was a godfather. So I think Sean Oliver and K Bourne were great coaches. They did their thing, man. They had some rugged kids from Mount Vernon and Yonkers that wanted to get their name out there, and after city, I'm from Mount Vernon, I'm from Yonkers, I'm here. Jada Kiss here is the best rapper. Like they just had the chip on their shoulder. I was like, and they had a great synergy, you know what I mean? And for me and my Pops 5 team, I was the orchestrator. I was a GM.
Gotcha.
I want to beat all these cats. I want to beat y'all. I want to beat everybody because I'm like, yo, I got talent too. I got the Rolodex too.
Yeah.
But when I became the CEO, I couldn't watch them a Pops 5 game. It was killing me. I can't. I remember that year that we beat Bingo. So we had forgot what year it was, but we had the illest gauntlet. So we had like the 6th seed.
Okay.
Something like that. So in my tournament is the first 2 teams get a bye, and then the 4 teams battle out, and then you play the next Saturday or the next Sunday to play in the semis and the chip. So I think we had some crazy shit, like we had 914, R2K, Bingo. No, sorry, we had I think it was R2K, Bingo, and then it was 914 just to get the chip. And that was probably the toughest. Like if we would have won that against TMP, that was probably the toughest route for a chip because you had to beat some killers for that one. So
that's a fact.
And that's what basketball was for me. That was what Hoops in the Sun was about. And those guys, they made it look easy. But I would say those are the five best teams I've seen in terms of chips and players.
Yeah, absolutely.
What they added to the tournament for us.
Yo, my last thing to you, brother.
Yes, sir.
PR Pride, son, what happened, yo? I was happy. I thought we had one.
I thought we had one too. I ain't gonna lie. When you put PR in front of Pride for me,
I was sold.
On a Puerto Rican beach.
I was sold. I said they gonna have the little Budweisers out there and all that.
You talk about marketing. That was like marketing genius. Like if you put that now in a social media era,
that was it.
It was it. I remember PR Pride in the league, and we had Coors Light as a sponsor. I don't want to say it too loud. We had Coors Light. They were giving out a halftime of PR Pride. Like if you make a half court shot, you get like 10 grand. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? And it was Ray Rivera and X-Ray, Paul Rivera. It was Ira Miller. It was
that was Puerto Rican for a couple of years.
Yeah, it was Andre Barrett. It was Big Bodyguard from St. Ray's. They had Corey Fisher for a time.
They had C Nick with them.
C Nick. So
yeah.
It was a great run for them, but it was just too short. And I think that what happened was that the way that PR Pride was building into an organization, that there was no consistency with the people that were running it. So
got it.
I think Ray was a player that wanted to be a player, not a GM and not a overseer of PR Pride. And then those conversations became a little bit whatever. And then they just split ways. But I was with you, man. I was every PR parade weekend. They were playing, bro. I had the long guys. I had the key out there. I had everything out there. When they came, I said, "Yo, you playing for me, right?" But it was those are the times I remember. Like you brought it back to me. Like PR Pride was dope, and they had the red uniform. They had the K1X.
It was
Rick Abadaka. They had the K1X blue and white.
Yep.
This is fire, and it was so dope, but it was just a short run and
short-lived.
And then short-lived, and Ray could only do so much, and then he got his into his accident, and then life just became different for him. So shouts to Ray, but that was a good time in my life, and man, I thought we had one, bro. I can't find one right now.
We can have our own because they got. I'm from Dykeman, and I gotta hear this. DP. I'm like, yo, they killing, so I can't even argue with them. You know what I mean? Those were my rivals every year that I was in it. Then I wind up getting with Mikey after everything, and we make a couple of runs for it. But PR Pride, I was like, yeah, we got one, yo. X-Ray, we good. Basil, we good, because Basil get buckets, and X-Ray shoot from the parking lot.
That's what I'm saying.
They get a couple of bigs, we be straight.
And that was it, and I think they didn't have a coach, man. It was like sub out, sub in coaches.
Yeah, themselves.
It became something that they couldn't control. But it was a good time, man. And basketball was at its prime at that time. And to talk about Mikey, I give Mikey a shout out because that's a very good brother, and and I commend him for what he's done for his community and for that park and for his people. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
No, absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
And shout out to you because as much as you don't, I know you're a humble dude. You was a force to be reckoned with, brother. You was a force to be
I
reckoned
was
with.
trying, bro. I was trying. I had my few runs.
Dynasty on a Friday night. Oh
Yeah.
my God, you couldn't get in the park.
Yeah, I had
I'm like, Drew. Can't, bro. I'm coaching. And then after that, man, win or lose, man. One thing about you, my brother. One thing, win or lose, man. You always gave me respect. You always showed me love.
That's
and we
a fact.
always hugged as we're brothers for life, man. So I appreciate you, man. Real
That's a whole fact, brother. That's a whole fact. Last question. What's next for Hoops in the Sun, bro? And what's life like for Mr. Cruz in 2020 with this whole new way of living, the new normal?
Yeah, man. So Hoops in the Sun took a pause this summer.
Yeah.
My brother and I went to the think tank, and we came up with a program called the Summit. And the Summit was a program for kids that does not have a chance to play at the beach on a tournament on a regular summer weekend. And what we did, we invited all the kids from every borough to come work out with coaches. We offered boxing, kickboxing, yoga. We offered basketball drills. We did football with them. So what we did, we opened up a mini after school program outdoors, and by utilizing our facilities for what it was. And I'll tell you, what I learned this summer, Drew, was Orchard Beach has untapped potential. I was always driven about basketball, and those four rims.
Yeah.
I have never really utilized the beach the way I did this summer.
I saw you had the kids with the ladders and the sprints and all that. You really used the beach this summer.
And I really didn't appreciate Orchard the way I was supposed to.
Gotcha.
And I would say I would thank COVID for that reason only, because it allowed me to kind of reinvent myself and see how creative you can be in this space. And if you wasn't creative in COVID, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't let this time go by, and you can't be creative. So my brother and I said, listen, we got people in the community, we got coaches, we know players, we know people can come out. Let's just do it. So we did it. We started in July with like 30 kids. Next week it was 60. Next week it was 75. Next week was 100. And then like towards the end of the summer, it was like 150. And I'm like, and I didn't advertise. I didn't call nobody.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I'm going to be out here for you guys because I'm tired of kids getting shot, and I'm tired of kids getting hurt, and I'm tired of our people hurting each other. Yeah. Let's come out here to the beach and let's figure this out. And every weekend we figured it out, and we added to it, just like we did Hoops in the Sun. We added to where it became a family-oriented outdoor mini NBA combine. And it changed my life too, because it allowed me to do a business with limitations, but have so much impact on kids that I never had a chance to meet if I was doing a regular tournament.
Got you.
So that's what I'm doing now. So what I'm working on now is I'm doing my podcast, which is called the Commissioner Corner.
Commissioner's Corner, facts.
Yes. And my brother, who is on it's on his network, on the Cruise Control Podcast Network. We landed a sponsor, Red Bull. That's why it's behind me.
Dope.
So we got that for the podcast, and then my plans for 2021 is, depending on the pandemic and if we're able to do a permit, we'll do the tournament. We're gonna change some things in the tournament. We're just deciding on whether we're gonna maybe bring like a women's program, like a women's pro program to the beach.
Dope.
And maybe go a little younger with 8U or 6U, trying to see how that works.
Yes, sir.
But I think that what I would definitely do is the summit earlier than I did last year. So I'll probably do the combine from March until June, and June happens to be the time we could do the tournament. We'll do the tournament on the weekends, and during the week we'll do the combine. And then after the tournament, we'll continue doing the summit all the way till we can't do no more, because I tell you, man, it was fun not to get any forfeits. Cats call me I'm late.
Your first time off in how long?
You know, and that's the truth of the matter. I've never had a break in 20 years. And I tell you, like you said earlier, like the summertime, like the beach, the Hoops and Sun was my summertime. It wasn't. I wasn't going on vacations. I wasn't doing all that. I lost many girlfriends along the battle.
Yeah.
But they just don't understand it. Yeah, nobody will understand it if you're not in it. And if you're not open to it and seeing it for what it is, you're never going to understand it. So people get intimidated by the amount of calls I get, the people who's calling me, who's DMing me, who's in it, and it's a lot for people to take in, and I understand it. And even when I go on the street, Joe Cruz, I'm like trying to put the hat down, and I can't hide. And every person I'm with, like, I can't take you nowhere. I said, I know I'm pretty respected out here. I'm sorry.
You're pretty special on these streets.
Yeah, man. So I'm happy to say that my dad taught me well. I listened to him, and I remain who I was when I was 25. And that's the key. I never changed. Yeah. And I try not to change, and I won't change. But that's what I'm doing. So we're doing the podcast now. We're going to prepare ourselves for 2021 for the tournament and the summit.
Dope.
And then we got some other events that we're trying to put together. Hopefully we get that in place, and then I'll definitely keep you informed on that.
No, absolutely. Listen, you off the hot seat, but I need one thing from you, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to call it a top 5. That way you don't hurt nobody's feelings. But all-time Hoops in the Sun 5. 5 players all-time.
Mike Glover. Are you want chips?
No, just give me.
Because I'm in this conversation all the time. Okay.
Just give me your 5 players from Hoops in the Sun that, we're not going to put them in any specific order. Just 5 GOATs, the Mount Rushmore of Hoops in the Sun. We're going to have 5 spots there.
Mike Glover, Kenny Satterfield, Keedron Clark, Dwight Hardy. Jesus Christ. I want to say, damn, is it either Will Cadiz, Krabby, or Smush? Take one of those.
Gotcha.
Take one of those.
I'll take it. You off the hot seat.
Thank you, my brother.
Yo, Joe, I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you too, Joe, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to do this. And
anytime.
I'm a phone call away. You ever need anything, you holler at me too. Same way, brother.
Likewise, man. Listen, I want to commend you on the work you do. You got a great platform, brother. You got great guests, and you got your boys with you. That's the best thing. Send my love to them.
You're ready.
Make sure you and your family is safe and well. And if you need anything from me, I won't call away.
I appreciate you.
All right. I love you, boy.
Ready, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Salute.
Salute.
Bless.
Later.